to order at 7 o'clock. Dylan, you can. Yeah, the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first of all, I want to apologize for the confusion about the meeting tonight. On again, off again. That problem's been fixed and we're all here. So I appreciate everyone showing up. Now I have some sad news to pass on about the passing of a longtime teacher and coach, Thomas O'Clair. Coach O'Clair spent over 30 years at Thompson as both a teacher and a coach. From 1977 until his retirement in 2006. As stated in his obituary, why he was coach from 1977 to 1997. His high school baseball team missed only one state tournament in 1993. And I'm sure he will be fondly remembered by all the alumni who had the privilege of having him either as a teacher or a coach. Tonight you will notice a different seating arrangement. On the suggestion of several members of the board, our two student liaisons, Madison Carlson, who's not with us tonight, and Dylan Alex, are now going to join us at the table. They're going to actually be a member of the board. They will give their reports quarterly, but are welcome to join us at every meeting. Lastly, again, at the suggestion of several board members, I have arranged for a special board meeting as an internal orientation meeting for newly elected Board of Education members. This meeting, the agenda is still being developed, but I imagine it to include a tour of the facility, a short review of how we run our meetings, a review of the budget process, which is fast coming up again, and a question and answer session. I am open to any suggestions from board members also on items to include in the agenda. And please contact me with your suggestions. And the suggested date for that meeting is November 17th. It's a Monday night. Okay. That's all I have to say for tonight. So I will now entertain citizens' comments. State your name and your address, and I limit them to 3 minutes. Any citizens' comments from the floor here? Hearing none, I'll go to the Zoom audience. Any citizens' comments from the Zoom audience? Hearing none, I will then now go to the approval of the minutes from our regular meeting of September 8th. I'll entertain a motion.
Kathleen, I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor and a second for the approval of our September 8th minutes. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll put the motion to the floor for approval. All in favor of approving those minutes from September 8th, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, say no. Abstentions? Minutes pass. Matt, would you please give us an update on our policy subcommittee?
Sure. Last week we had quite a busy subcommittee meeting, mostly related to library collections and complaints thereof. And we have sent the full board 5 policies for approval. They mostly framed around the K policies with edits to reflect Thompson specific. But they basically take their frameworks out of Thompson. Shall I go over them individually and approve all at the end? Or would you like to
Well,
approve them?
everybody received the policies
Mhm.
and read them.
Mhm.
Are we ready to, what, later in the meeting, approve them? So you don't, I don't think you
Okay,
need to
well, I'll read the titles.
read the title.
The library display and program policy. The curriculum policy. Library collection development and maintenance policy. Public complaints regarding instruction materials policy. And the library material review and reconsideration policy. For those who are in need of the student dress policy, we discussed that. We discussed it fervently, and we want to table that until next month, and we're going to just bring whatever policy you come up with to the full board at our December meeting. There's lots of other things to go over in it, and
Did
that'll
every,
be the sole focus.
okay, everybody received the survey on that, or was it just sent to the policy committee? Okay,
Got it.
Yeah, the survey, yes.
pardon me?
I said, I don't know, I'm on the policy committee, so.
Oh,
I got it.
okay,
Yeah.
you didn't get it. Could we?
No, everybody.
No,
We all got it.
Parent survey? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So everybody got the survey on the dress code and the dress code.
Yeah.
So why don't, if you have comments on that, why don't you send them to Matt? So that when we have another discussion on that,
Or you're welcome to come to the meeting.
yeah, or if you want to attend that, I suggest that you do, because this is a big issue.
It's an issue.
It's an
It's an
issue.
issue.
It's,
Right. And
Right.
It's probably the most public facing of the issues that we have discussed in the policy committee since I've been the chair of the policy. committee.
right, so I
So,
think we
I
invite.
want to do it correctly and make as many
Right.
people happy as possible, though not everybody will be happy, but everything, so.
Well, nobody's
That's
ever,
just
you
too bad.
can't please all the people all the
That's right, this is something.
time. Okay. Moving on, we will go to the enrollment report.
Our current enrollment numbers, our total enrollment numbers are 774 students. You can see that that is down from last month. One of the reasons is because we have been carrying some students, especially at the high school, on our enrollment books because we weren't able to locate where those students were. And there are certain rules on taking students out of our student information system enrollment until we have that documentation. Danette worked really hard with the high school folks to identify, and Greg helped out as well, to identify and Chris Jones too, the whereabouts of some of these students. Did they withdraw? Did they withdraw to homeschool? Are they enrolled in another school? Are they enrolled in another state? And the reason it was very important to the high school is because of his attendance rate and carrying those students on his attendance rate. He is dropping in ranking. So we needed to get them off the books. So that's why you see a discrepancy. Right now, at the elementary school, we have 326 students. At the middle school, 281 students. And if you look back to June, that's actually up from the previous year. The elementary is a bit down. And the high school, we have 166 students, a bit down from the end of last year of 180.
The question,
Yes.
can we go back and calculate our enrollment for August and, well, that is for September, so for August, I guess,
No.
to correct our absences, no. Okay.
No, so we take the hit for this current year, but we
Oh,
carry,
year,
well, no, up until we remove those students from our enrollment. But they did a really, it was like finding a needle in the haystack with some of them. I think there's still one more pending. But we weren't able to locate and parents weren't responding and it was it was a team effort on everyone's part to kind of beat the bushes and make sure that these students were placed appropriately or they've withdrawn appropriately.
Accounted for either way. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Do we know how far back that might have gone?
Into the end of last year, some of these students had valid reasons for not being in school. But then it continued over into this year, and that was the issue, right? They didn't show up in school on the first day, and so that rang an alarm bell at the high school. So now where are these kids? We've done a good job, and but that's why you see an enrollment decrease there.
One other quick thing, Melinda, it's nice that we have, hopefully our future candidates, well, we do have our future candidates here for selectmen. And it's one thing to point out, even though our tuition says that we are, for enrollment is $774. We are kind of what we talked about at our last meeting, we're financially responsible for almost 950
Correct.
some odd students. So it's not the $774,
Good point.
which we're gonna start making that known to the town.
Right, because we have students in other schools we're paying tuition for. The
Correct.
BOAG, QMC, we pay transportation for Ellis, then all of our out-of-district special education students, so,
Right.
yes, you're
Every
right.
time people, come back at us as a Board of Ed that the budget represents 774 students, that's actually a false statement.
Yeah, so,
Thank you, Tom.
Well,
that's a great point, Tom. Melinda, can we get that potentially added to the second, I guess it's the second to last sheet? Where it shows the elementary school, middle school, high school. TTP and then a total. We got a line added in there for that
All others.
other.
total financial responsibility, whatever it is, the number.
So that would include all the kids that we're transporting plus those we owe tuition for.
Correct.
I'll work with Danette on that.
Thank you.
She did a lot of work on this update, making sure it was pretty cleaned up. So. Yes.
I like the way that she did the Killingly.
Mhm.
Ellis.
Yeah, I like that update.
breakout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we only lost one to Killingly, 8th grader to Killingly.
That's the lowest we've ever done since I've been here.
Then 12 to Ellis is not terrible.
But this is a nice format.
Mhm.
This is
Yeah.
laid out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she listened to the minutes to make sure she was addressing exactly what you wanted in that report, and she did a nice job with that.
Thank her very much. She did a good
I
job.
will. And, the next, item under the superintendent report, you know that every October, we invite Kim Granado. She is the person that manages our assessment data for the district, to do a presentation on our test scores, not only Smarter Balance, but SATs, PSATs, and, the science assessment. Kim put, a comprehensive report together, and she's going to give you an overview tonight, and we're trying to stay within our allotted minutes. But it's good for people who are running for office to see the progress the district's making, so thank you for being here.
Well, good evening, everyone. This is a happy night, happy occasion.
Mhm.
As you know, we've been receiving accolades from the state on our attendance and our scores. So tonight kind of captures that. And thank you to Superintendent Smith for the vision that she has, and to all the teachers and support staff, and right down to our custodial staff, lunch, everyone, because everyone makes the day here in the Thompson district, and of course to my fellow administrators. So tonight is a great night. Every year I come here and I go, oh, I wonder what's it gonna look like, but every year it's been positive news, so it's great. All right, just a couple of highlights before we even begin. when you see things that are 5% and above, that is a huge increase. That is what the state calls a tremendous increase. So there were some things that you're gonna see that we surpassed even more than 5%. And as always with every data, know that there are some situations where we don't see any growth, but we also see that it's a work in progress, right? And these are the areas where we can say, all right, let's deep dive and look at the trends and see how we can improve. All right, so let's go. So this presentation is going to give you an overview of exactly that, the Smarter Balance, and comparing it to the state and also to the individual child. All right. And that just kind of just tells us that the Smarter Balance is taken from the Common Core, which is College Ready Skills, and NGSS, that is the 4 domains of science that the students are tested in. We can go on. And so what everyone in the audience and out there needs to understand is the state measures us in 2 areas, right? Our achievement and our proficiency. How proficient are we in the said subject? Also, the growth. How much growth have we made and how much growth have we made in the trending grades? Thank you. You may move on. All right. So you will see things in this presentation that are color coded, and level 1 meaning that the student or the district did not meet the standard. Okay. Level 2, we're approaching the standard. So we definitely want to see these 2 go down, as these level 3 means that we met the standard and level 4 means that we surpassed the standard. So those are things that we want to see in the presentation. All right, so this is great news. I always love this. So where does Thompson as a district compare to the state? Okay, so as a district, you will see that in Thompson, in ELA, we are 52.2%, where the state is only 50.3%. So we are above the state in proficiency. That's huge, right? That is huge. And then if you look at math, it's 45.9% the state, but we're at 45. There we are.
Yeah.
We're doing it, right? All right, let's move it. All right, so now I'm going to explain to you on a district like where we fell in the categories that I explained to you about the red. And what you want to see is always red go down, the rest go up, right? So the percent in red compared to the state for ELA, so we've gone down 4% from last year. So this was last year's data, and this is our current this year's data. So we have gone down 4% in red. The percent in yellow has gone up. Okay, so that's good because that means that some people in the red are going to the yellow, right? And then the percent in green has gone up 1%. And then the percent above target is 2%. That's huge.
Yeah.
So if you look here, okay, we have 63 kids in the district who are performing above proficiency. And here we have 73.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's really good progress. And that's just, of course, in ELA. Next slide. So then we look at math, okay? And again, the red has gone down by 1%. The percent in yellow has gone down, and that allows more people to enter the green, and the percent in blue has gone up. Look at that, everybody, 6%.
Wow.
So, which is an incredible achievement.
And we can attribute that to math lab.
Yes, I was going to
AP,
say
yeah.
that, yes. Don't steal my thunder. All right, no, I'm kidding. All right. All right, you may move on. And in science, okay, the percent in red from last year has dropped 7%. Again, huge, right? The percent in yellow has increased. The percent in green has increased. And the percent above target has remained the same. So basically what it's saying is that we're moving in the right direction on all levels, right? Red's going down, yellow is moving into the green, and the green is flourishing, and the blue is increasing. So these are great things, and that's just from last year, so that was just a comparison of last year. Okay, next slide. So now I'm gonna take you down the lane of each individual grade level. All right, so we can look at them as a whole. So in grade three, by the way, is the first time that SBAC is given, okay? And what you see is that our district beat the state. Now, I just would like you to really stare at that, up 16%. And honestly, it has to be attributed to OG and also the literacy-based classrooms that are happening. So kids are coming more prepared and they're doing better in reading. Then you look at grade 3 in math, this was incredible. We are up 32.4%. Now, granted, it's different groups, right? So this year's 3rd grade is a new grade, right?
Right.
Last year's grade 3 is now grade 4. So that's why, and I'm gonna go to the next slide. And that is why we have the alignment. And that's going to show us how we're doing with that cohort and how they're moving towards graduation. Okay, so but first let's take 4 as a whole. Grade 4 beat the district, beat the state. We beat them by a little bit, but we still beat them, so we call it a win. All right, and but then you look up here in that cohort. Last year was 49.4%. This year scored 51.9.
Wow.
So again, that group is moving up in the trend. So that's what we like to see, right? That cohort is moving up. Now in math, we kind of just where we are in grade 4, and we're where we are, but we're looking at it. All right. So and again, I think what you're going to see is the grades that had our tutoring in math are going to show some increases. That where the district spent money not last year, half a year, and the intense tutoring the year before, you're going to see some great gains there, and that really helped shorten the gap. All right, next.
All grant funded.
All grant funded, of course, yes. All right, next, oh no, keep that one. Okay, so we're in grade 5 now. And in grade 5, we have, we were just right there. Right, so that's still, but we also improved our score from last year. So again, those are trends we look at and we say positive things, right? We did not see an increase from the cohort, but again, keep in mind with the cohort, because if it's a small group, if someone moves out or someone comes in, that also kind of skews the data a little bit. But again, we're kind of looking at the big picture, right? So we're still in the 50s. For math, again, grade 5 is, so 4 and 5, we're really looking at, deep dive and seeing what's going on in math in 4 and 5, and we're addressing it. And we have some tutoring that's coming back because we realize if you show the next slide, okay, we start seeing an increase. So, and again, grade 6 in ELA, we're above the state. And this cohort is kind of showing that, they're steady. They were up a little bit, but they're steady. So that's a great thing. And also math, it's not a big dip. So it's right around there. That 2% can be if someone moved out. So we're kind of, but we did increase from last year. So we definitely want to see that. So that's a win, right? And I always look to, the state, they're not doing that great. Like we all, if you look over the state, we all need to improve in math. It's a clear picture that we're all need some work in math, but we're doing it because when you see the next one, this is 7 and 8 get joyous. All right, go ahead, next slide. All right, so again, I'm going to start with math because we need to show this. Look at this. That's hard. 32 to 34. That's an upswing. Again, there's not much difference. And they're holding straight in ELA. But then 8th grade, They're a win on all levels. So again, that's that tutoring coming into play, because this group had had a year and a half of the tutoring. So, that's huge, right? So, look at this jump from 31 to 45%. We're above, we beat the state by 5 points in 8th grade, that's huge, right? And in reading, 8th grade, also above the district. And they're up on their cohorts in both places. So that says a lot right there, because that says that these students as a cohort are moving up and they're improving their skill set. So that's great news.
And-
Any questions so far? I know I'm like,
And I've been doing this for a long time. Moving the needle in grade 8
yeah,
is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because you often don't see
Yeah.
those scores improving like that.
honestly, the trend is always the 3rd and 4th grade seem to always do well, because the kids are young and they don't have other things going for them, like grade 7 and 8 do, right? 5, it's, if that middle school level is hard, right? But then it comes back when they get into high school, because they realize, ooh, this is important, I have to do well, so. But here we go in science too. We did great, grade 5. We're just looking at that group. And grade 8, but again, grade 8 above all lines did a great job. Grade 11, big improvement, look at that. And again, for the whole district, we improved. And we've improved 3 years in a row, right?
Yep.
So that's what I mean, there's all positive things to look at, and there's areas we have to work too. All right. So now we go into what does it look like for the individual child, right? And I always say this because for parents who are looking at their child's results, right? It's not about where they are, it's about the improvement that they make each and every year, right? Because there are so many factors that go into this one day, you're tested one day, right? And so always look at your child as the overview. This is just one data point that we look at, but there's many things to look at, and this doesn't indicate in any shape, way, or form what they're going to do with their life, if they're college ready, so I always want to add that in, because not everybody is a test taker, right? But they perform in other ways, and they have other talents that contribute to this world, right? So, basically, if you see someone that is in the red, it's kind of like what we were talking about, right? Red is not performing. Level 2, they're approaching. 3 is met, and level 4 is exceeding. And then there's a range and a target. So, and everyone did get their individual scores that went home. And this kind of tells you where they fall. And it's a 3-year trend. And we want to see kids improve their target and their growth. And the state comes up with this formula, obviously. All right, next. And it's the same thing in math. All right. Next, slide, please. And that is what went home. And as a parent, it's kind of self-explanatory, kind of tells you where they fall. And now I'm going to go into some SAT data. So for SAT and ELA, we have a great, we were above the state. That's huge. This is the first time that we see that we're above the state. So that was great over the last year too. Yeah, so we're doing great. That's huge, right? Now in math, and I know that Mr. Smith at the high school was working really hard in ELA and worked with the cohort and so it shows that it does work, right? And I know Mrs. Sabansky is doing that now in math, so we're anxious to see next year's scores and how they improve. And again, it's hard, you can't compare this group. Every group 11 is different, right? So again, we're just kind of looking at trends. So then we have the grade 10 take it, and that kind of preps them for what's coming. So as this combined, so meaning the benchmark was these students met the math and ELA benchmark, okay? So In the district, 26% met. In the state, only 31% met, both, right? So then when we look at the ELA benchmark, okay, we as a district were above the state. So we were 65% and the state was 56%, and that's our grade, the PSAT. That's the group that's going to take SATs this year. So that's something that we want to look for and see how they do. And in district met the math benchmark, 26% met it, and 32% in the state. So again, like, it's not like the state's at 80% and we're, you know, so something to look at. Still want to make improvements. All right, next one, please. And then this is our ninth graders, okay? And our ninth graders, we've kind of changed how we do things now. So ninth graders is now taking the PSATs. And so again, the district, we were above the state, 68%, and 56% in the state. Math, 8% in the district and 30% in the state. So we definitely want to see how this group now trends. And we just rocked it out of the park in attendance. And honestly, that is really, again, congratulations to all the teachers and the staff. I know that all three buildings work tirelessly, weekly with attendance, and it's showing that it matters. And I also want to thank Teague Support, because they are here with us every week. I know in the middle school, they sit on all our meetings and they are there right by our side to help if we need anything. Yeah, and us as administrators, we constantly tap into our resources. All right, so let's look at all this good news. So, and this is huge. So the state is saying that kids who are chronically absent, they are at 17.2%. Us in Thompson, we're at 14%. So we're way below, which is great. Of course, we want to see that number as low as possible. So next slide, please. So now we're going to break it down into the district. So for the district level, we are at 93.2% that are in attendance. The rule of thumb is we want to get 95%. Right? And the state isn't even at 95%. They're at 93.2. So we beat the state. So 93. And then you see Marriott Fisher at 93.5. Then you see Thompson Middle School, 94.5, almost perfect, I might add. No, I'm just kidding. All right. And the high school with great gains to 92.1%. All right, next slide. And then we look at the chronic. And notice what I love about this slide too, if you look as a district, look where we were 3 years ago, 22%, 18%, 14%. Marriott Fisher, 16, 16, and 9. You know, 20, this is us middle school, 20, 12, and 11. And the high school, 32 down to 29, down to 21. That's huge.
And there was a lot of emphasis on the incentive program at the high school.
Yeah.
And Principal Mellon does attribute that to his scores dropping. So we kind of revived that again, I think, starting last Friday.
Yeah. And I know at the middle school, our PBIS, big in attendance. So, all right. And then I added this piece this year because the state added it. And they're actually tracking how we do in our physical fitness. So in grades 4, 6, 8, and 10, they are assessed. And I'm sure those of you who have kids will always complain about the mile run. And but looking good, we have increased. And this is as a district, not by school. This is just totally as a district. So we are increasing in our overall assessments. And we got better in the mile run. And, you know, we kind of fall in between, nothing major, but we do a much better sit and reach than we used to. So, and that's where we stand. And I believe that is it. Does anyone have any questions? I know that was a whirlwind.
Thank
But
you.
it's all positive.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Kim. FY 25 deficit, we wanna review that.
Well, I think that C, D, and E, you can give a brief overview, Bill.
So the most recent update on the projected deficit for fiscal 2025 is around $64,000 as we discussed in the previous finance subcommittee meeting. I want to remind everyone that's not final yet. We are still working through closing out encumbrances and trying to move money to grants as best we can. But that's where we stand at the moment. I'll take just 2 seconds to briefly touch on 2026 since we're here. We're at 19.3% of spend on the budget compared to 22% last year. Let's not get too excited because remember, we were, because of the budget work that was happening and the 4 referendums. We were in a bit of a cash crunch, so we were actively managing our accounts payable, so I expect that to kind of come back. But the results that are shown in the report also don't include any projected special ed excess cost payments for this year. But for 26 right now, we're projecting to be pretty good, although special education and ESY, are both in the red for fiscal 26. Special education at 105,000 and ESY at just under 5,000. ESY related to higher than expected transportation costs and some additional paraprofessional expenses. And pupil services is sort of the usual suspects out of district placements. Still doing better on transportation costs there. Keeping an eye on it, as you know, late in the budget process last year, we had some kids move into town that were higher need, and unfortunately, that's starting to show in the numbers. For item D, the finance subcommittee decided against moving forward with any talk about budget expenses for fiscal 26, so I think we could probably pass on that for now. And from the non-lapsing account update, we are for the broader audience, there are 2 non-lapsing accounts, one which is Board of Education controlled, that has a remaining balance of $97,154. And the previous Board of Finance controlled non-lapsing account has a remaining balance right now of $47,285. If I could, just for a moment before I step away, thank you, Kathleen, for mentioning Coach Eau Claire. I really appreciate that. He meant a tremendous amount to folks in this community. As I look around the room, there's at least 4 of us who played for him. And I think I speak for my fellow ball players saying he had a hell of a
Madam Chair,
Yes,
do we know the excess cost grant calculation yet this year?
yeah, that would be good to know.
146,000.
Yeah, and then there's a separate seed grant that we can apply for, but it can't be supplanted, so it has to be for new teachers or new programming. Nothing that we currently have on the books.
Can we get that in next, could we like outline that excess cost grant calculation and then that in next month's update, please? Sure.
Yeah, we'll have Dr. Jones do that.
Like what the, 4.5
What our base is
times
gonna be.
start base and what's the
Reimbursement percentage.
enrollment number that we're using against it. Where we're looking at, I think last month I had asked what enrollment number we're using to calculate that tuition number and.
Mhm.
We kind of tossed around the fact that we're fiscally responsible for 900, but we're only allowed to use the 700 for that calculation, but. We're gonna look into that. There was that whole
Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet.
700 versus 900, divide that by the number that
The
changes
per
that
pupil cost.
base tuition
Yeah.
number a lot.
But I mean, what is the reimbursement calculation? It's 4.5 times.
Per pupil
per-
expenditure.
But that changed in this recent go around, so.
Right.
Chris needs to get an update on that
Yeah,
for us.
could we have that before the BOE goes? Not, it won't be this Wednesday, it'll be next Wednesday,
Yes,
okay?
Yeah.
It'd be great if I could have it for Monday, the 20th.
Anyone else?
Yeah, we were getting 100% reimbursement over 96,000,
No, it's 64.
No.
and now it's 68.
It's 100. The 96 went up to above 100,000, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly.
Yeah, I know, that was,
Unfortunately,
I'm
dollars
quoting
increased
last year's
faster than it's
numbers.
decreased.
But it's like 64%
Right.
of,
It's
That sounds-
64% of 100.
Unfortunately, Chris Jones
Yeah, okay.
speak to him better than I would, but
yeah,
unfortunately, the trend is
it's
in one
going,
direction, which is incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
Because this is, as well, as you guys know better than anybody, this is an issue that every district in the state faces. Yep.
Okay.
and to follow on with that, I had asked. As part of the reports, the district, the number that we're at out of the 160 districts on the pupil
he gave you
services.
that
He
information.
did give me that, so we went from 16 out of 169 to 40
40.
out of 169.
Mhm.
I queried as to why the dramatic shift. It's not our percentage. Our percentage didn't change that much that it changed where we sat in the state. But the amount of services that are being rendered by other districts in the state increased enough
Mhm.
so that we got bumped down on the list.
Okay.
Right.
So I think it's important to state that statewide, it looks like pupil services is trending northward. And we're now, because of where we sit, we're now trending further down on the list, but we're at the same percentage of population that needs services. And we're not getting any additional assistance from the state.
If anything, we've gone down in the assistance. It's almost a sleight of hand, even though they raise the amount, they drop the percentage.
Mhm.
So it still puts the burden back on the towns versus the state truly or sufficiently funding
They're mandated.
their mandates.
Which if we're 4.5 times the tuition and the tuition's at 7 and change. Or the enrollment's at 7 and change versus 9 and change, that's gonna make a big difference for that calculation.
Right.
So. Great.
It's gonna kill us. Okay, next item is the EastCon board membership.
So, EastCon has an executive board of directors. And, how that board of directors is, membership is that one board member from every board, serves on that committee. We haven't sent anyone, really for the whole time that I've been here, because of, it's just another set of meetings. They have asked us to sit, send a board member to sit at the table. I don't know, with new board members coming on, they may be interested. To let you know, our relationship with EastCon, we don't, for the most part, we don't have too many students, maybe one, maybe two, tuitioned out at EastCon. We don't participate in any of their professional development. We do our in-house professional development. I participate in the Ursa NASA Superintendent's Group, which is facilitated by EastCon. Buying power, we've kind of gotten away from that because we've gotten better prices on our own for goods and services. I think food service might do a little bit with EastCon, but just to let you know what our relationship is, adult ed, they do run the district's adult ed program. You know that the board contributes 50,000 out of your budget, and then we get grant funding of 50,000, so 100,000 goes to EastCon for their adult ed program. So they're asking, and they're trying to rebuild their committee, so they're asking for membership from Thompson Board of Ed.
What does their board do? I'm looking at this list and there's 21 vacant seats out of whatever. I didn't count the total number, 30, 32.
So
What do they do and?
they oversee the operation of EastCon
Of East
and
Con,
help.
for which we
help
get,
with that.
basically what we're getting out of is the adult ed. That's what I took out of what you were saying.
Yeah.
And we're not getting a lot out of it, we're not putting a lot into it, and, yeah.
Yeah, that's why we haven't sent any.
That's why we probably haven't sent any.
And my question, and I know I've asked this question before, how many do we have participating in that adult
That's
ed?
my
program?
I
Question.
gave you that data last year. I think you had a list of 7 people that were active in their adult ed program. You had me check.
Oh,
I'm re-engaging myself with adult ed, and I don't go to their monthly meetings, but I'm gonna stop to attend their monthly meetings only because I want to see what type of programming they're giving. We could never replicate that on $100,000. Let's just put it that way. But I also want to see exactly what the quality of those programs are. You know, you'll know in my briefs, I'm under discussion to do some adult ed with electric boat and Connecticut State. I'll be giving you a more detailed update in my briefs, but that's an area that can't supplant our relationship with EastCon, but the whole idea of adult ed is extremely intriguing to me and certainly something the community needs, but they need something closer to home. It's a long ride out there to their center. So I don't know how many are currently involved. When I start to re-engage myself with those meetings, I'll get that data. But last year, when you asked, it was in the spring, it was like 7 people that were taking advantage.
Do they have how often and when they meet?
Yeah,
Yes, I can get that for you.
Because it's hard to commit without
Okay.
right.
knowing what you're
That was
committing
gonna be
to.
my next question is when are the meetings and how often and what time?
I'll ask him, Eric, for the meeting agenda schedule. And what the time commitment is.
Two
Okay.
questions for you. Where are the meetings held?
He's in him, right?
Hampton?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my second thing is as an outgoing Board of Ed member, I think it would be a great honor for the newest members coming on board. Maybe they rotate, but it would be nice for them, be a nice little initiation. In honor of Coach O'Clair, I know he used to make us freshmen carry everything up and down the hill, so I think this would be a great. Just saying.
Well, let's get
saying,
the answer to that, when and where they meet, and
Yeah.
then we can bring this up again at the next meeting.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Kathleen.
All right, any
Oh,
old,
Kathleen.
oh, I'm
We
sorry.
need to make a motion to add to new business that bank account. It's not on the agenda.
Oh, okay. You can do that.
Okay, well, then I'm gonna make a motion to add new business D. To change the contact on the cafeteria account at Bank Home.
No,
Yeah,
yes, I
Is
forgot all about
is there
that.
a D on the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah. there
Oh,
is.
all right,
You
gotta do
So
E.
that would
Oh,
be
then I'm on the
E.
old one. You're on the old one. All right, so E.
E. Yes, I forgot all about that. Thank you, Jess, for bringing that up.
Emailed it.
Oh, yeah, okay. I pulled that out.
Bank Hometown.
Is that Bank of America
It's Bank Hometown.
or Hometown Bank? It's the cafeteria.
Okay.
But they need a meeting minute showing the change of the contact in order to
Oh.
update that.
Right. It's easy enough to do, but we'll add that. Okay, you've made the motion. Somebody second it, please.
I'll second.
Okay. Heather seconded it, and all in favor of adding an item P?
She said.
Change the hometown bank, contact and, signing authority,
Mm-hmm,
signature card.
right.
Any discussion?
Well, it's for new business.
Right.
We're adding
Yeah.
it to new business.
Oh, add it to the new business.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Gotta be thorough. Any opposition? Any abstentions? Okay, it's added. Okay, now do we have any old business that we want to bring up? Okay, so for new business, we have to discuss the meeting dates for next year, so we can get them to the town clerk. be added to the calendar.
Thanks,
I'd like to make a motion that they're all approved.
Most Tom's spoken about 10 meetings.
That's it.
I'll second that we accept the current list of 2026 Board of Education meeting dates as
Okay.
presented.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on these dates? Hearing no discussion, I'll put the motion to the floor for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, say no. Abstentions?
About it, I don't care.
In abstention.
Oh, present,
The Falcon.
Well,
present.
President.
All right, the motion passed, thank you. Okay, now we are going to vote on the policies.
But there's an
Item B.
approval of the
Oh, I
NASDAQ.
forgot that, the approval of the NASDAQ proposal.
So, a few months ago, the board had, directed me to, do, research,
Mhm.
an independent study of outsourcing the high school. As we all know, we have done this analysis, I don't know, at least 3 times in my tenure.
Mhm.
And apparently, the numbers that the Board of Ed and myself and the finance directors have presented, people are skeptic of because we did the analysis ourselves.
Right.
We did the analysis to save money, and it was truthful when we put it out there. And every time we've done the analysis, it will cost more to send our high school students to Woodstock Academy than it would to keep them in-house. One of the biggest drivers is the percentage of students who are in our life skills program or in our transition program would need an out-of-district placement. And some of them have their own nurse, some of them have their own behavior specialist. They have specialized programming, and so that number drives it up. Transportation is another big driver because we would need more buses to take the high school over to the other, to Woodstock Academy. So since the public has not ever believed the data that we have put out, the members of the Board of Ed said, Melinda, we got to have an objective audit report study done of outsourcing the high school. So I approached NASDAQ because we are a member of NASDAQ. They're the people that does enrollment projections. They do our special ed projections for us. Sometimes their enrollment projections are off. If you've looked at those projections, depending upon what's happening. But they are a reputable educational think tank.
Mhm.
And they have quoted us $8,150 to do the study. They will give us a 20% discount because we are an affiliate. So the fee for them to do that work is $6,520. We know that that was not part of our original budget.
Mhm.
And so before I go ahead and sign this, I just wanted to bring it to discussion before the board, before we go and do this independent audit.
I have a question for the discussion of that. What do we get out of that? And,
Well, we need a motion on the
oh,
floor.
I'm sorry,
I'll make a motion, Kathleen, to move forward for discussion.
I'll second that.
Okay, now your question.
What do we get from that? Obviously, we're getting something impartial, but in terms of what we do versus what they're going to do, what is it that they're going to do?
They are basically going to look at all the work that we've already previously done. And then they will go out to have discussions with us, the finance director, look at our high school budget overall, do an analysis of that budget, and then do the same with Woodstock Academy and do a comparison, give you a study, come here, report out those findings to you in a public manner so that anyone who is interested, and then give us a final report that we can put out there for the public.
Would they look at Putnam also?
They can, whatever we direct them to do.
Yes, Tom.
Keep this completely independent. I would suggest that we bring this to the Board of Selectmen, let the Board of Selectmen hire NESDEC. So it's not that the Board of Education's hiring the committee. Because we know before, the townspeople have always said, well, you hired the auditors,
Right.
even though they're independents.
Mhm.
So just a thought.
That's a good point.
I like that.
Would we have to pay the 8,000 now instead of the 6?
So,
If the Board of
no, I
Selectmen-
think the town
It's
is an
the-
affiliate.
The one thing right now with our high school
Mhm.
versus being outsourced, and this has come up umpteen times.
Mhm.
We have the ability to control the costs.
Mhm.
Whenever there's tuitions, the tuition of a school, whoever, if, God forbid, it ever came to that, you cannot control what that town is gonna ask you for a tuition for that student.
Oh, we all-
That's one of the biggest pieces, which I think, again, we are able to control. We have the ability to make cuts and we have the ability to make it work every single year.
I know, but they don't listen.
I totally understand.
All right, Kristen,
I'm
Jess.
just gonna
Heather.
piggyback off of what Tom said, and also we don't get to control what they're taught anymore when they go somewhere else. I don't sit on their Board of Education.
No, you don't.
So that's,
That we're talking only the high school.
right, but still, that
But
is,
still,
we don't
you
get to
don't.
control what they're being taught anymore.
And to piggyback further off of what Tom said, is all of those extra costs, the increase in tuition, nails your elementary and your middle school budgets. And if you look at Woodstock's current testing scores, they have dropped significantly every time because that academy is sucking their district dry.
Well, we're
And-
only talking the high school.
Right,
Yes,
but
right.
but
But
the
you're saying we don't check
tuition
our
cost,
budget.
every time it
Yeah.
goes up, where is
Yeah.
that money coming from? It's coming out of your budget for your middle school and elementary
Understood,
students.
understood. But there are some advantages to sending the kids to Woodstock Academy.
I've yet to see that.
I don't know, we have more pathways.
Yeah.
Well, you do. Why do?
Just because you went there doesn't mean it's
Exactly.
bad.
No,
Exactly.
no, I didn't go to that Woodstock Academy. The Woodstock Academy I went to was an entirely different Woodstock Academy.
Hmm.
It's not the new one, believe me. Anyway, I'm not disparaging Turtle Hop.
This independent entity, have they done these school comparisons for
Yeah.
other districts?
Yes, so they did one in Vermont, they did one in two in New Hampshire. Similar communities, bedroom communities with not a lot of business space. They will come up with some suggestions at the end of their report. One of the suggestions will be the other study you have us doing internally, which is taking a look at reconfiguration. I do have a committee doing that work now. We will have a report to you in December. That there's a lot to that report because philosophically, you will dissolve the middle school model here for Thompson Public Schools. And you will look at a different configuration. There's plus and minuses in each column. I think we've done this at least twice since I've been here. And it doesn't save a lot of money. But that's a decision once we do the final report and bring it to you that you can talk about. But they did say to me that one of their suggestions might be looking at the overall structure of the district. And then the board has to grapple with what's more important. Keeping your high school intact or making some changes below. The art committee is looking at that with an objective lens, and trust me, it's hard because people's emotions are running high because I'm using my internal staff. But we are looking at it very objectively and we'll present an objective report to you. And then finally, at the end of that report, we will tell you our opinion as a committee and as a group of educators.
I have just one other question. How long would this process take for this independent?
It says 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
So right before budget.
That's if we get.
Rick.
it
Oh,
approved.
man.
That's if I get an approval to go ahead and sign the contract. That's the interesting thing. And I have been working with them since July to try to get a number, but they had to pick the right group of people to do the study and it just took them time. I don't know of
Just the
another
ethic.
independent organization that
Yes.
could do that for us.
Can I speak real quick?
Personally, I think we've made leaps and bounds at the high school with the pathways. I mean, there's nothing, we don't compare to. We are leaps and bounds ahead with our pathways at the high school compared to Putnam, compared to Killingley, compared to any of the other schools. I'm saying the size of Woodstock Academy today gives some advantages in other ways because of their, for college bound students. Not for the trades or for that stuff. They don't offer that.
Interestingly enough, out of a graduating class of 50 students, 20 are college bound. Right, and we do a good job with all our AP, but the other 30 students in a graduating class are looking at the trades and looking to work. And
Okay.
so why we developed as a board, the pathways was to meet that need. That's where our kids' interests lie.
Okay, and that's who we need to cater to, really. I mean, we need to cater to all our students, and we do have the AP and we do have the college credit courses, so. But the overhead on a small high school is hard. And it's hard to explain. This is my humble opinion. And we're gonna be getting that question. And the regionalization comes up, but who are you gonna regionalize? You can't. There's nobody that who are you gonna regionalize?
We asked Putnam many years ago and they were not interested. That was the only
And
one. that
We went
could.
down, Melinda and I went down and talked to Putnam, and we even changed our schedule to match their schedule so that we could share.
At least share coursework. Yeah.
We even asked about merging the two schools and then
Right,
they ended up.
that's
building a new school.
that's what I'm talking about.
Cause that would have been a north and a south campus,
Right. And they weren't interested.
correct? And the town forgets that.
So. Anyway,
So do we make a motion that we move this to present it to the Board of Selectmen so they hire it
That's a good
independently,
idea.
or?
I think that's a good idea to
Well-
let the selectmen.
I'd like to make a motion that we take this.
Mhm.
The NASDAQ, what do you call that, audit? Independent audit,
It's a study.
sorry,
It's a
study, and we ask that the Board of Selectmen hire the firm. So it is completely independent.
Right.
Second,
I think that's.
I'll try to get on their agenda.
Okay, you made the motion, Justin.
Yes, sir.
Justin second.
No, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yes, seconded it. Okay. All right. So I have a motion and a second, and I think we did discuss any further discussion on this.
I think this is a total waste of money. We've done this a couple of times before. And we're gonna get the same results that we got the last time. To go through this motion again is just gonna strain everyone's time. And the town frankly doesn't have the money for it. So I'm going to be voting no. But I urge you all to vote no, because this is a complete waste of money.
How I see it, Bill, is we're going to finally put this to bed.
How many
And
times are we gonna put this to bed? We've done it at least twice before.
Right, but it comes back on us because it was an internal and they don't believe our numbers, Bill.
they're not gonna believe the next set of numbers.
Well, it's,
Well, just the
this
tuition
was
and the amount of
completely
students.
transparent, it's out there, somebody else did it, it wasn't in-house. Just,
So. Regardless of if the $6,520 is coming out of the Board of Education budget or the town budget. We have, from our earlier presentation this evening. We have math test scores. In the middle school that we need to worry about.
yes.
And I would much rather turn $6,520 into math tutoring dollars. Than high school assessment number 15 of whether or not we can outsource it or not. We as a Board of Education have a responsibility, yes, to the taxpayer and the townspeople, but we have a responsibility to the students in the district. And the students in the district, based on the test scores, the tutoring helped, and we need to do better with that.
Okay.
So I think I agree with Bill in that $6,500 is a waste, $8,200, whatever it is an absolute waste. And we could spend it better on the students themselves.
Okay, so we just,
Especially after talking this earlier
Right.
about this $120,000. That we don't even know how we're gonna pay this bill. It just infuriates me that we do this. Over and over.
I totally agree with both of you, okay? However, I'm also trying, by me making the motion. It does not mean that I am pushing these test scores to the side. You know my stance on Common Core math, I think it's absolutely horrible. And I've said that for 18 years, or however many years Common Core has been here. I don't care, the answer's wrong, I don't care how you got there, the answer's wrong. Second part of this is, we have to put this thing to bed. Totally understand, I agree, $6,000 is a lot right now. I just think we have to independently get this done.
Kathleen, can I speak? I'm just going off of just basic math. If we take 166 kids and the tuition to, you know, and we're not even transporting them yet. This is just if we had 166 regular ed kids.
Okay.
At tuition, it's already more than what we paid for this to run the high school. So I know we all get that, but it's like. The math is there, whether we spend the 6,000 or not, the math is right
so-
there.
we continue to
Yeah.
take the brunt of everybody telling us that. Close the high school and. Yes, miss.
Thank you for looking into this, because we asked you
Yes.
to look into it.
Yes.
And I appreciate that you did that. B, the 267 people that rant against this every year are not gonna be mollified by an independent study, a congressional
No.
study, a Supreme Court study, any study, they're not gonna be mollified by that.
Especially if it doesn't say what they.
Especially if it doesn't say what they want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so if they want to believe, they can believe, but to any of the people that are watching, the 6, 7, 8, 9 people that are watching, and the 267 that aren't, the numbers are as factual as they can be. That we're not hiding anything, and to the other voters that aren't those 267, come out to the budget meetings, come out to all the meetings. And pay attention, because the information is there and there's nothing being hidden.
So we do have a motion on the floor. However, the 267 people, if they wanted to pay for this audit, it would cost them $24.42.
There you go.
Hey,
They-
great idea, great idea.
They want this audit. I think that's
That's a great idea, Tom.
There you go.
You know, because I'm on Justin's side, I would love to take that $6,500 and reinstate the math lab and start to reinstate the math lab program. That's where I agree with you, Justin. That's where the money needs to be spent.
But we don't have it.
Right.
We don't have the money to spend to
don't.
begin with.
Yeah,
And if we did have the money to spend, I wouldn't be spending it on another audit when the basic math on paper, like Danielle said,
Yeah.
already proves it out that it ain't gonna work.
right,
So
Thank you for doing, giving what you asked you to do.
that's Common Core math.
okay. All right.
1 + 1 = 3.
Having said that, I will put this motion for the study of the NASDAQ proposal to the floor for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
On my own
Aye for independence.
Well, okay. All opposed, say no.
Now,
No. Okay. All abstain?
Thank you for your effort.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. But we
Can't
need to
Can't
know.
justify wasting that money.
Well,
for
no,
it.
no, we needed to know what it would cost.
Right.
And thank you
They
very
can pay
much.
for it.
Now, I will say, if there's an independent donation of the 265 people. that-
2442,
Of $25 a piece, we gotta round up, cause you never know.
and 3 easy payments.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll pop that study right there
Yeah,
into the budget.
it's
right.
there. It's there. We know how much it's gonna cost and,
Yeah, okay.
We could
So
do a
there's
donor
information
contribution.
there you go.
Sticker.
Put their money where their mouth is.
Get a thumb sticker.
Okay, now we can go to the policies.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the policies, 5 policies put before the board this month.
I'll second it.
Any discussion on these policies?
Discussion question.
Hearing none, I'll put the motion to the floor that we approve the 5 policies listed, the library policies, the curriculum, and the public complaints. All in favor of approving these policies, and these are new policies. These are not revised policies. These are all new policies. So all in favor of approving them, say aye. Any, anybody not approving them, say no. Any abstentions? Policies pass. We have to do a free and approved lunch
Breakfast.
breakfast.
So
Sorry.
you can remember in the summertime, we talked about the idea that we did qualify for free meals. However, the reimbursement on the paid meals for lunch was only 44 cents, and we weren't able to cover a meal, so therefore we can't offer free lunch. But we talked at that time that our new food service director could, with the reimbursement rate for breakfast, offer free breakfast. And so it was a discussion, but we never formally voted on free school breakfast as a Board of Ed, and the state is asking us for that.
With district-wide?
District-wide.
This is state reimbursed.
Correct. So she's able to create a breakfast with a reimbursement cost of $1 per meal. And remember, the free and reduced aren't in the equation. It's those students that would ordinarily pay. So based on the menu choices that she's put together, she can feed our students for $1 for breakfast because of the reimbursement coming from the state. So that's why she can stretch those dollars and make it free for all. We just couldn't do it for lunch.
So as a clarification, it's a free lunch to the students that is reimbursed by the state.
Correct.
Is taxpayer
breakfast.
reimbursed by the state, not taxpayer reimbursed by the local town taxpayer.
That's exactly right.
By the state, and it is not necessarily a free lunch. It is
Free
free to the
breakfast.
students. We still, or free breakfast.
Breakfast,
It is free to the students. There is still a cost to it. It's just reimbursed for by the state.
correct.
Okay.
Your state taxes, so you're
Correct.
you're paying for it one way or the other.
But you're
Right.
getting your state taxes back. It's
Yeah, oh,
not.
I'm not disagreeing, but. you're
What I'm
paying-
trying to, Bill, what I'm trying to get at is a referendum number 7 next year is not gonna change the fact that we provided free lunch or free breakfast, sorry, this year.
Yes.
Right. Sorry if I got everybody confused.
Does this include the summer as well? Because
No, the summer is something different. The summer is free for all. It's a different program, different grant funding.
so this one basically is just school year.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I have a motion,
Kathleen, I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I think it's a great idea. Start the day with breakfast.
Okay,
Most
I want my
important.
breakfast.
That's what research says.
yeah. Okay, all in favor then, I'll put the motion to the floor, all in favor of approving that we provide free.
I,
Aye. Finish. Okay. I'm assuming the motion passes. Got it. Okay, at this point. No, we have correspondence. We have a
No,
thank
get
you
the bank
letter
account.
from Kate.
still have
We have the
piece
bank
of the bank
account, the
account.
added item, bank account.
Huh?
The contact for the bank account.
Oh, that's what I got. I wrote it down.
Motion to,
I'm thinking it's
Change
one of
the
my little
size.
scribble notes.
motion to change the signing.
It
Signature.
should include Deb, Mita, and Chris Murphy and remove Lisa Durand.
Yes.
How many
As stated.
do you want?
I want Deb, Mita, and Chris Murphy, so in case one is out, we have a backup. And
Right.
Lisa Durand needs to come off the account.
Yes.
Okay.
On the
so we'll-
lunch account.
Signatures, that's
Yes.
fine. Okay, I thought you said 3 people and I'm going,
No.
no. Okay,
2 signatories.
But
On
it
the
only-
lunch account at Hometown Bank as the name stated by Jess Bolte. Motion's on the table, right? Is
To
that-
also remove
And to
Lisa.
And to
Durand.
remove Lisa Durand.
You have to include that.
mhm.
I'll second that.
Okay. All right. Any discussion on that? Now, you still only need 1 signature on the check. You have 2 people.
Right, it's a backup, so in case if there's an issue and Deb's out, they can contact Chris or vice versa.
Right.
Because the issue is right now Lisa's on the account, so if there's ever an issue, Lisa gets the phone call and then we're reliant on her to call Deb or Chris to handle it.
Okay,
And that can't continue to happen.
all right. All right, okay, I'll put the motion to the floor to add Deb and Chris on to as signatories on the bank account at Hometown and remove Lisa Durant. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed? Nay? Any abstentions? We do have correspondence from Cabe, and that's in your packet, thanking us again for signing up again. So their organization, I think they do a lot for us by providing policies and workshops that we don't take enough advantage of, but and newsletters and an abundance of emails.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's there. Okay, at this point in time. I know it's probably a meeting early, but we have them, so we give them out. And I still urge you to come to the next meeting. We have 1 more meeting left, but in grateful appreciation.
No, it's me. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
For your years of service on our Board of Education. To Danielle Carlson. A nice plaque.
Oh, I thank you.
Oh, let me take a
Okay,
picture.
hang on, I've got to get a good picture.
Oh, okay, I don't know if you can.
Thank you, everyone. It's been a great 6 years.
Tom? Many years. Of service to the Thompson Board of Education. We thank you very much.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Can we
It's
get
been a pleasure
Absolutely.
working with you.
Thank you. I'll save my speech for next month.
Okay, we can do that.
Better make it.
Mr. Wachowski. For your many years.
Many years. 4 minis,
Lot of many. Thank you.
24 years,
Huh?
24,
24, yeah, 24,
yeah, 18.
18.
18, 24, wow.
That's great.
Dang.
Kathleen, may I say something?
Yes, you may.
Well, I thank the 3 of you very, very much. I don't think I would have gotten through the last 6 years without you. You navigated us through COVID. Bill, you've been my first chairperson of a board, so thank you so much. The funny thing about former board members, they text me all the time and send me information, and so we've gotten some really good tips from the former board members, so they're never really gone. They still text me and email me if they find something interesting that's gonna support the district, so we hope that we'll stay in touch.
Hope so too.
We're still on the building committee, so we're still hanging around.
Yeah.
Still spending your money. I will just say one quick thing though. 18 years went by really quick. I will say I'm not gonna miss the budget processes, late night negotiation meetings.
Yeah.
Some nights getting out at 5, 6 in the morning, whatever it was. But this board truly, whether you're Democrat or Republican, that was checked at the door. And in 18 years that I was here, it was always about the students, the staff, creating a professional and safe learning environment. And we always worked together and we always made it work financially. So it's been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
And I don't know if I'd been here without Mr. Consiglio, who's a former board member over there. I came on when he was on a couple of years. Great friend and a great mentor here, but he left me and left me with Tom Angelo.
That's right. We did have a pact though. He said when you went, I was going. And we now have our specific spot up in the balcony. For a scavenger to Skylark and Waldorf from the Muppets.
That's awesome.
Oh, dear.
It's been a lot of fun.
I appreciate your service very
Thank
much.
And I just want to say thank you. It was a tough decision. I was gonna run again, but my dad's in hospice care, so I just have to be with family, and so I just want to say thank you. It's been a great 6 years, and you know,
I think
I
one
can't wait to
last
see
thing,
what is going on.
one last thing for the three of us. I mean,
Yeah.
thank you to the townspeople for
Yes.
voting us in all those times. Yeah. Been a while.
Gonna miss you guys.
Yes.
Well, you might still have one more meeting, so,
Yeah.
okay. And then second round of citizens' comments.
I do,
You have a citizen?
I do.
Okay.
With all of our selectmen candidates sitting here in attendance, you guys haven't been come to these meetings and that's fine, and but appreciate your attendance tonight. You got a little tiny taste of what we go through with the special ed budget, and every dollar that we spend on special ed is not, that's not reimbursed by the state, which is most of those dollars. We have one budget, right? So every dollar that we spend that the state's not giving us back is coming out of the overall budget. And so that's things we can't do as a town, whether we can't do it as a school district, we also can't do it as a town because the voters are only going to give us as a town so much money. So we need as much help, many creative ways to pressure our state legislators to fix the broken system. We're up against it, and it's gonna drive our town and many small towns throughout the state into possible bankruptcy because we can't sustain this. And I just want to let you guys know, because you only got a tiny taste of this. And it's not gonna get any better until it gets fixed. And the cost threshold goes up every year, and the reimbursement past that cost threshold goes down every year. Correct, Bill? And it's not, it's a very broken system. And we need to get help to fix that. And not that you as potential, town selectmen can do much, but just putting that bug in your ear. Thank you.
Just be a voice.
Yeah, we need, and the communications committee, subcommittee has been putting out form letters for people to sign and send to state legislators, emails. We've done a blank, they've done, Heather has.
Yeah,
and-
Kristen wrote
and
the last one.
Kristen And Jess and all of the subcommittee have been very, very proactive in trying to reach our state legislators, and getting that out there. But there's so much that the state has a spending cap that they don't want to break. And there's so many agencies coming at them for help, the health services, the social services, and our special education needs. And it really does hurt. I mean, 64% of over $100,000 is, you have to spend over $100,000 to get 64% of that overage is just unbearable for us for rural towns. And we're not the only town
No,
feeling it.
We're not.
And when they did enact this pushback in the 70s, they were supposed to cover 100% of these costs. When they went away from the Mansfields and the group homes, they were supposed to cover 100% of these costs of special education when they pushed them back into the schools. And that never happened. So these, when we refer to state mandates, this is basically what we're referring to. And we feel the brunt of it. And in essence, what we spend somehow, it takes away from the general education too.
For everything.
Yeah.
Can I speak real quick when you're done, Kathleen? I'm just gonna add in too that like the special ed, when it was developed, that program or it didn't really incorporate or encapsulate mental health. So it's like now,
Yeah.
it's a bigger, you know, and there
Mhm.
is just not enough funding for it, but you know, 4.7 or 8 million of our operating budget
Yeah.
goes to just special ed services. So it's like if anything, we can get anything back. You know, that's a huge amount of money that this town pays every year
Yeah.
for special ed. That's not brought back into the.
It's like 24% of our budget.
Yeah.
24% of our budget goes to special education
But
costs.
we always like to keep in focus that it's what these students need.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
no, we're not questioning that. It's just that, you know, the
cost is high.
reimbursement
Yeah.
rate would help.
It sure would.
And what I did find out is that even though they don't cut our ECS because we're
An Alliance district.
Alliance District, they're basing the ECS at $10,500 per student. And it's been fixed at that rate
For years.
for years. So it cost us over $23,000 per student is what they're assessing us cost per student. But they're reimbursing us through ECS, educational costs student, at 10.5. So that cost has not gone up in 15 years, not allowing for inflation. That cost has been paid for everybody in the state. So we're being penalized that way too.
Well, like Justin pointed out, we went from 16 to 40, and it's not because we have any less need, it's because there's more need throughout the state. So hopefully that's an indicator that the state's gonna start to hopefully realize that,
No,
you know,
we'll see.
but
But
hey, squeaky wheel, what is it? Gets the cheese or the oil?
Grease.
All
Yeah.
right, well, whatever it is, cheese or oil, let's get it.
Get the cheese all right.
To adjourn?
Second.
Second.
okay.
I've been in Europe. I know. Oh, it's gorgeous. Magazine. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Thank you. But we've been.
21st next month.
Oh, you're so good. I tried.
When's the meeting next month?
Thanksgiving dinner.
On Tuesday though, right? Because of, what's the holiday in, November?
Great, thank you so much. It's nice to see you.
It is.
Sorry. I'm slacking on my job, she's already got. You done.
I'll be here no matter what.
Good to see you.
Careful.
Thank you, man.
I'm gonna miss having
It's on
you
the
down.
tenth, because Veterans Day is actually celebrated on Tuesday.
Oh, so it is, all right.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be flipped. All right, I'll see you guys next month.
Yeah.
Now listen.